Hello and welcome to Smriti Irani, the Minister for Women and Child Development and Textiles, and Mr. Prabhu Chawla. They're old sparring partners. Watching them talk to each other is like being at a cricket match, actually a tennis match, and you're the referee and you're sort of going from one to the other, serve, volley, ace. So it's a privilege to have both of them with us. I want to start obviously with
Today I'm
Smriti
going to be
Irani.
on the sidelines watching.
No, that is not possible.
I
But
think COVID has taught us something, Kaveri. It is
sorry,
that if COVID has taught us something,
yes,
that irrespective of our differences, this is a time that we can come together.
absolutely. And Smriti, I want to start with you because you're so many things. You're women and child development minister, textiles minister, one of your party's fiercest spokeswomen, the giant killer of Amethi. Who can ever forget that? But also one of the wittiest Instagram account writers. I think if someone has not seen your Instagram account, they've really missed out on a large part of what your personality is like. It's so many different things. But I want to take you to your first role today, which is women and child development. You know, we've seen so much of the burden during COVID being shouldered by women across classes, you know, whether you're upper, middle class, or of course, whether you're working class. We've seen so many migrants, and among them, women are so prominent. And I know that you've done a lot over the past 2 months for them, but you want to take us through some of the things, some of the initiatives that you've done, especially for domestic violence. I think that was one of the biggest issues that women faced.
I think Kaveri, at the onset, let me here clarify that no matter what we tried to do, we did it as a part of a holistic structure.
Yeah,
If there is one lesson that we have learned through COVID is that no one person stood alone in their effort. Government at the center, the state,
yeah,
including district administrations. We worked day in and day out with every last entity, every last person within the administrative structure to reach out to every citizen, irrespective of their age, gender, caste, creed, or economic background. Insofar as women and children go specifically, I remember that when the first guidelines came through,
hmm,
uh, we were working with the Home Ministry to ensure that from day one, since most of our work is the responsibility that falls within the realm of the state, we were hand-holding with the states with regards to operationally ensuring that our one-stop crisis centers for
right,
women across the country are functional and never shut doors,
yeah,
irrespective of the fact the entire country was in a state of lockdown.
hmm,
We reached out to each and every one stop center, each and every officer who was administrating that one stop center. And we were, I think, quite blessed that we did not have any one individual shirk off responsibility and say that they fear for themselves, hence would not be available at the crisis management centers. Similarly, we engaged with all childcare institutions, the children's home, all women's home across the country, so
right,
that one, we give them all the guidelines, parameters for ensuring that the people who are living in those homes are safe, that they have access to all essential commodities, have access to all essential medical help that they needed, and that the district administration was collaborating all efforts with them. That being said, apart from the One Stop Crisis Center and the childcare institutions and the women care institutions, we also ensured that our Anganwadi, which is our front line for
yeah,
ensuring women and children, especially the pregnant and lactating women, get their supplements, get their dietary support, that continued insofar as WCD was concerned. We handheld and actually worked with states to ensure that even if Anganwadis were shut, their take home ration was delivered at the doorstep.
right,
And I think that the numbers that have come through from the state, in a period of lockdown, we had 9 crore female beneficiaries receive the take home ration at their doorstep with the Anganwadi Karyakarta, with the Asha Bahu. I'm sure you've heard of many stories from various states about Anganwadi and Asha Bahus who actually not only fulfill their obligations towards their Anganwadi and health services,
right,
but also helped district administration get alerted if there was a COVID
yeah,
case while they were out in the neighborhood. So
Right.
I think that what I'm simplifying today in a conversation is in a mammoth task
Yeah.
that has been underway in our country, no matter what state, no matter what district.
Right. What are the lessons that this has taught you? You were talking somewhere about how this has actually taught you what local governance is all about, down to the district level, down to.
One side which has been as a minister having the responsibility and the good fortune of working with not only states but also with the district administration. There have
Right.
been DMs I've had the privilege of calling, SPs that I've had the privilege of calling and speaking myself, as have many of my ministerial colleagues. Apart from that, I also have the responsibility as an MP.
Yeah.
So I have firsthand not only witnessed what we do as cabinet ministers with regards to the governance structure, but also as an MP. I have three district magistrates who actually touch upon my Lok Sabha constituency. So there's Amethi, Raebareli, and Sultanpur. I
Right.
have three young officers manning the post, two of them women. Actually,
Okay.
DM Raebareli, DM Sultanpur are young, bright young women. I
Ah,
have
nice.
three SPs which touch upon in terms of their services and law and order within my constituency. The fact that we use technology to reach out to each other, the fact that if there is a guideline coming from the center, or for that matter a directive coming from the state, we would not lose a moment to converge efforts to speak. And I think the fact that in only Amethi Janpad, and I'm not talking Salon, which falls under Raebareli, or parts of Sultanpur that touch upon my constituency, we have coordinated the coming back home of over 30,000 people
Wow.
just into Amethi Janpad.
Right.
Salon, close to 7,500. Similarly, in Sultanpur, close to 2,000 people coming back. So if you look at the numbers, close to 40,000 people came back into just one constituency in collaboration with states across the country and in collaboration with the UP government. In fact, we had the opportunity of tracing down Amethi citizens who needed help
Hmm.
as far as Ladakh to Lakshadweep.
Wow. This is
And
the same constituency where you're Lapata from, Smriti?
I think that whoever did that was pretty naive, given that one, you have somebody who's been on ground in touch with people, so much so that, let's say if somebody recovers in Amethi from
Yeah.
COVID, we actually reach out. I personally speak to each and every individual who has recovered, so that if they are in need of any additional support, they can be given. And the stigmatization that many fear
Yeah.
has from COVID is a stigmatization that we can at least attend to within my constituency.
Right.
Or for that matter, speaking to the DM, not only providing facility from my own party coffers or from my own personal outreach to ensure that additional nutrition, or for that matter, financial support or medical support is given to people. I think that जिनके पास बहुत वक्त है वो शायद ये सब करेंगे, और उनका अधिकार है. I don't deny them that right. But if that is your expectation of me, then I have an adjoining constituency in which one of my Vidhan Sabha falls. And the MP from there is genuinely Gayab. Just happens to be a very illustrious MP. That cannot be my fault. So it can't be apples and oranges. If you're doing a comparative, why not do it with the MP next door?
Right.
Library.
But Smriti, just to go back to this point, we're all concerned about the people who are going back to the villages and the fear of COVID spreading there. What are the precautions and the preventive measures you're taking there?
We did this outreach, and many DMs have done it.
Yeah.
One, that we have engaged every person that has come back into Amethi. The DM and SP were already aware of the families and where the areas, localities that they
Right.
were staying in. So there has been absolutely, I mean, I've been extremely fortunate to have such a constituency where people have been more than supportive. It's only one unfortunate incident when the Congress local president broke into a quarantine facility to take a picture so that he could do a lovely photo up for the Gandhi family, which was extremely unfortunate, thereby actually putting others' lives at risk.
Right.
There was a huge outrage about it locally कि अगर हम घर पे बैठ के रामनवमी की पूजा कर रहे हैं, ईद की नमाज अदा घर पे कर रहे हैं, तो आप क्यों ये पॉलिटिकल स्टंट कर रहे हैं ताकि आपको 2 मिनट की ख्याति मिले. But that being said, at least insofar as the constituents are concerned, there has been no backlash, at least in my constituency. People have been very mindful कि इनको लौटना है घर. We've been in touch with families locally, and people have more or less settled. So even during Eid, there was a lot
Right.
of apprehension amongst people that kya Eid pe log cooperate karenge. Blessedly in Amethi, people were more than cooperative. Nobody broke the law, except that, like I said,
let me intervene a little bit now, because she spoke about neighboring constituencies and then kept quiet after that. Let me go back to her on that constituency again and again. Because today in the morning or yesterday, I saw a tweet from Smriti about there was some poster in Amethi constituency, Lapta MP.
उसी की बात कर रहे हैं.
Remark to that. So I want to say, what was that? What was the response you gave? I was laughing about it.
Sir, like I said, I have never spoken about this till the Congress needled me about the 30,000 that were particularly brought back home. Any other politician would be beating the drums very loudly in the national capital that this is what we managed to do. And I didn't do that because I know it was not a singular effort. It was an effort between district magistrates, state governments, other people within administration or in the general public. We all came together to ensure that our citizens came back home. So for one,
आपने जो बात की ना, एक बात में कंस्टिट्यूंसी जो भी है आपकी, अगर वो लोग देख नहीं रहे तरफ के, आपकी ड्यूटी, जैसे आपने शुरू में कहा कि हम सब लोगों को मिलकर काम करना चाहिए, तो आप नेबरिंग कंस्टिट्यूंसी, आर यू टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द नेबरिंग कंस्टिट्यूंसी और नॉट?
Absolutely, sir. Salon जो है विधानसभा, in fact, that is a part of Amethi, Raebareli Janpad. In fact, when I did a Google Doc out publicly and I said, आप अगर हमारे इलाके के हैं तो आप इसमें अपना नाम नंबर दे दीजिए, हम आपसे संपर्क करके आपको वापस लाएंगे. तो उसमें न सिर्फ अमेठी, रायबरेली, सुल्तानपुर, फैजाबाद के लोग भी आए. We accumulated all this data, we flagged it to the Chief Minister's office, and the Chief Minister's office, either through buses or through trains, we actually flagged it to such an extent that we went Zilawar, Pradeshwar, and gave every name, number, and corresponding name and number of their homes in the gullies and the gaons that they're living in Amethi, Sultanpur, Raebareli or Faizabad. So this is, in fact, I've had the good fortune that there were some young journalists on the road who were tracking some people's movement. And they were more interested in helping those people reach their destination safely. So I'd also requested such journalists कि भाई आप अगर आपको जो स्टोरी करनी है आप करें, अगर मेरे इलाके के आसपास का आपको लगता है कोई व्यक्ति कहीं फंसा है जिसको लौटना है, तो आप मुझे बता दीजिए, आपकी स्टोरी चलती रहे, कम से कम वो इंसान तो अपने घर लौट आएगा. एंड वी कैन.
मैं जो कह रहा हूँ स्मृति जी, जो लापता का पोस्टर लगाया उन्होंने आपके बारे में देखा मैंने,
लगाया सर, एक तो खंबे लगाया है शाहगढ़ ब्लॉक में, वो भी बिना अपना नाम लिखे.
हाँ, तो नाम लगा, डरते हैं लोग आपसे, नाम लिख देंगे, पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा.
हाँ, तो वो इतना बड़ा खानदान है, मुझसे कौन डरेगा?
नहीं, मैं यही पूछ रहा हूँ, खानदान जो है ना,
अगर पोस्टर पे अपना नाम लिखना तक भूल जाए तो आप सोचिए.
स्मृति ईरानी का इस खानदान के साथ पुराना लगता है, पिछले जन्म का कोई रिश्ता है.
बहुत बड़े लोग हैं.
अगर आपको हराएंगे,
एक मिनट का
जी जरूर.
रायबरेली,
maybe somebody in the party is desperately itching that रायबरेली भी खाली हो जाए.
नहीं, रायबरेली खाली आप खाली कराना चाहती हैं क्या उसकी जल्दी से?
सर, मुझे मेरी पार्टी अगर आदेश देगी तो आपको तो पता है
2024 में खाली होगा, उससे पहले तो नहीं होगा. यानी मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ, रायबरेली में आप डायरेक्टली यही कह रही हैं कि रायबरेली की जो भी सांसद हैं, उनका नाम आप भी नहीं ले रही, मैं भी ले रहा, वो अपना काम नहीं कर रही है. जो आपके खिलाफ चार्ज लग रहा है कि आप लापता हैं, क्या आपको लगता है वो भी लापता है वहां से?
प्रभु जी, मेरे होने का तो प्रमाण है. हाँ. ये होने का नहीं है, फर्क यही है.
अच्छा, मतलब वो दिखाई नहीं देती वहां पर किसी रूप में भी.
वो क्या करती है वो मेरा विषय नहीं है.
लेकिन आप कर रही हैं, मतलब आप उनकी ख्याल रख रही हैं.
आपको याद है पुरानी कहावत बड़े हमको सिखाया करते थे कि एक उंगली यहाँ करोगे तो बाकी 4 उंगलियां वहां भी.
So, I will go back to the serious issue, which was earlier. You were talking about Anganwadis and your team and your ministry has worked really well. But how did you take that incident of Anganwadi workers and being beaten away or shied away in some part of India? How do you take it at that time? I was really shocked.
The Prime Minister has been very vocal, not only in terms of his words but also his action, by ensuring, and he's repeatedly said that if you attack frontline workers, this kind of an abuse, not only of power, this kind of abuse of complete breakdown on law and order will not be accepted by the center. We have legislated, we took a cabinet decision to protect frontline workers as well. And I think that apart from the Prime Minister taking such a strong step, there was a public outrage about it also.
Yeah.
And I think that what has been my observation of this entire COVID crisis is that I never felt that there was a time where the Prime Minister himself and the people of our country worked in different tandems or tangents. We saw a cohesiveness in terms of the approach of the Prime Minister and the people's response. And I think that has been one of my strongest takeaways from the COVID crisis. That the Prime Minister led from the front, administratively appealed to the better sense of a lot of people, but also, as you saw in Uttar Pradesh, the CM cracked down very heavily against such people. Who,
lakhs and lakhs of women are working there. I just want to have some kind of information from you about our viewers and readers, that how many women were involved as a frontline workers in this from your ministry?
All states,
and what are the incidents of COVID on them? How many? I think they've fought it very well.
Yeah, fought it very well, sir. But at the same time, like I said, they went beyond their call of duty and helped the state in activities which they are not designated to do. In fact, looking at the fact that they were going into the community, they did the additional service of alerting DMs about, let's say, eruption of some case somewhere, so that medical help could reach that family or that particular locality. And that's why I'm saying that the frontline worker, we applauded doctors, we applauded nurses, but Anganwadi and Asha workers did a stupendous job of going down to the grassroots, going down to the community and flagging these issues.
But there were no incidents. There were no massive incidents of they getting infected by
Asha worker who's part of the health ministry mandate. But that also in Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, he took very strong action against it. But I think that apart from the administrative action, like I said, the public outrage has been severe. People recognize that these are people who, they've been offices like in textiles, we've had our offices running 24/7. Even during lockdown, we were coordinating with the entire manufacturing industry across the country. We did not shut down for one day. But the Prime Minister was insistent that even if we are reporting to duty, we ensure that we follow all the guidelines and the health protocols to ensure that our working environment is safe.
So I'm asking a question again. I'm repeating the question. I'm saying any incidents of COVID because it's Asha workers and Anganwadi workers, they were in the front and meeting going Mahalla to Mahalla. But they were able to save themselves from COVID. That
is my response. Asha falls under the mandate of the health ministry and works under the mandate of the state government. And every state government, be it the Asha or Anganwadi worker, they have ensured that there is enough protection given, not only in terms of law, but also in terms of supply, so that they can be safe, including gloves or PPE suits or masks or sanitizers. Insofar as Anganwadi workers go, which fall under my ministry's mandate, we in fact, in collaboration with all states, also mandated not only that health protocols be undertaken by these workers, but also in institutions which are currently operational for serving women who are destitute or in distress.
So this other question which I'm just for my, as a journalist or a citizen, I want to know, all over the world I don't see gender-wise breakup of the cases. Is there a policy behind it?
All over I think, sir, today, currently, when you're tracking each and every case, if you want to use data analytics, you can get a gender-based evidence with regards to the virus. But I think that since I do not represent ICMR, I should not sit here in a position of supposition. So
but what do you think? My feeling, why I'm asking this question, because my
evidence has suggested that more men are afflicted.
Yeah. Correct. I was coming to that only because if the data is given, the gender-wise breakup of the cases, out of 1,98,000 cases so far in India, I don't think more than 30% are women, because I was taking a sample from one hospital.
As a woman, I take as a woman.
They are the big fighters. They can fight everybody.
As a woman, I take a lot of solace from it. But as a minister, sir, we are duty bound to serve no matter what the gender of the citizen.
That's right.
And the fact that yes, evidence today shows that there are more men afflicted is an evidence or research that has come not only from India but from across the world.
मैं इसलिए पूछा था कि बताना चाहिए कि हिंदुस्तान के मर्दों को भी इस मामले में भी महिलाओं से लीडरशिप लेनी चाहिए.
सब चीज पे लेनी पड़ेगी.
I think, sir, the issue is ये विषय इतना संगीन है.
हाँ.
मैं बहुत मुश्किल से इस पे कोई जोक कर पाऊंगी. मुझे लगता है कि सबसे बड़ी इसकी चुनौती ये है जिन जिन जो रिकवर हुए हैं, कुछ लोगों के साथ जिनसे मैंने अमेठी में वार्तालाप की, वो खौफ जो है कि आपको कोविड हुआ है, वो परिवार को भी ग्रस्त करता है। आसपास आपको लगता है कि आप अछूते से हो जाते हैं। तो मोस्टली जिनसे मैंने बात की वो पुरुष ही हैं। मेरे पास 29 लोगों की अभी वर्तमान में लिस्ट है, मोस्टली उसमें पुरुष हैं। लेकिन जो खौफ है, जो स्टिग्मा है, उसको मुझे लगता है कि हटाने की जरूरत है, कि अगर आप उसमें से रिकवर होकर निकले हैं तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप अथवा आपका परिवार अछूता हो जाएगा। और अगर आप वर्तमान में उससे अफ्लिक्टेड है तो ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग, और कितनी ऐसी कहानियां बाहर आई हैं जिसमें डर के मारे लोग उनके साथ चर्चा ना करें या फिर संवाद तोड़ दें। तो मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं वो वाला पार्ट जो है ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग काउंसल, आई एम ग्लैड दैट निमहांस एक्चुअली let out a number for people to deal with stress in such challenging times with regards to COVID. We also use those facilities to help women who needed counseling when they are in distress. We are grateful that NALSA stepped up with free legal aid for women across the country. We ensured that every state and every district got that information apart from the one-stop crisis center. So I think that this is a time where we start talking about, do not stigmatize people who are currently afflicted or people who have recovered.
Smriti, I will ask another question, because of COVID, don't you think we don't get to see in the newspapers or TV channel discussion the child abuse cases, the violence against women? You must be getting the data. Is there some kind of
when COVID began, when it hit India, at that time, if you remember, early mid-March, there were a lot of talk about, and it came from international agencies, that across the world, 80% women are getting beaten up at homes.
Yeah.
Now, when we asked for validated figures, they said this is just a supposition.
Right.
ये हमारा अंदाजा है, ये फैक्ट नहीं है, हमारा ये डर है। तो मैंने जब और कई सरकारों के साथ, इंक्लूडिंग दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट के साथ, नंबर्स ट्रैक किए, so the numbers of domestic violence reported cases fell. In fact, with more and more people who are at the helm of law and order, every police officer that I spoke to, they said comparatively the numbers went down.
Really?
During the COVID.
So as minister, I'm making myself very clear.
Yeah.
No matter what positions law enforcement authorities in states take, ultimately I have to go by numbers that are coming to us through official channels.
Right.
One of the channels.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just trying to clarify that during the past 3 months.
One of the numbers, one of the agencies through whom we are getting the numbers is the National Commission for Women. Now, National Commission for Women, they have started their own WhatsApp numbers, they've started their own helplines. And when they get a complaint, they actually follow up with the SP of that Zilla or the DGP of the state so that these issues are expedited. We have cases where one-stop centers, after women have called up for help, they have been rescued from their homes and given support. There are many states that have reported it. So that is why I'm saying.
Smriti, I'm just giving ballpoint figure because during the past 2 months, number of cases have come down, or they're stagnant, or what? I don't know what is the figure because it's not coming out.
Sir, currently, because it's an evolving situation, NCW has accumulated numbers which show that cases have gone down.
Oh, good.
But since the situation has not completely evolved, it would be premature for me to make a generic statement.
You can't conclude anything from
Best said that all states have women helplines running. I have myself published on my Twitter account close to 32 such agencies that have got their helplines running. We have a helpline specially dedicated to children, which is a 1098 number that is operational. And every time a case of abuse is reported or a case of violence is reported, the district authorities and police enforcement agencies are alerted, and rescue operations have been undertaken even during lockdown. So there has never been a time where helplines have stopped working or rescue operations have ceased.
Smriti, that's a fascinating data point then. To suggest that India seems to be going against the global average, the global trend. That
I would not even deem it a trend because it's a supposition.
Right. But it is quite fascinating even then.
And this is the fear in my conversation with UN Women in New York.
Yeah.
It was confirmed that this is an analytical thought.
Right.
It is not a fact on which I can base. And I think in governance, it is best to base your statements on the basis of fact instead of somebody red flagging a possibility.
Right.
Today, the fact is that yes, the outcry, the outrage with regards to the numbers was a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, when states and helplines went down to the detail of it, they found that 80% of Indian women are not getting beaten up. But whatever violence is being done against women, states are rescuing them because you know that law and order is a state subject.
Yes.
And the National Commission for Women is parallelly also running helplines and WhatsApp numbers so that women can report directly to them if they choose not to report to the state concerned.
Right.
So operations have never ceased. They have been continuing in terms of service for protection of women and children.
Right. Smriti, may I just take you to your other ministry, textiles, because especially in the South, we have enormous, interest there in terms of textiles, and units have shut down, and there's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen next. So what is the government doing to look at that situation, to rescue some of these units, to give them handouts, or what do you plan to do?
I think that the announcement made by the government yesterday, which was the first cabinet chaired in the second year of the Prime Minister in office,
Yeah.
with regards to MSME definition being revisited for the first time in 14 years. The decision, I believe Nitin Gadkari ji was on your platform talking about the MSME needs.
Right.
And I think that debt restructuring, apart from that, the equity infusion scheme that the government has announced, that actually is an extension of what Nitinji spoke on your platform. Additionally, I think for the first time in the history of our country, we have a prime ministerial intervention with regards to street vendors in the country.
Yeah.
Never happened in the history of our nation.
Right.
That the government has been so detailed in its approach to provide solution that they have gone down to even providing support to street vendors through urban local bodies under the aegis of the Ministry of Urban and Housing Development. So I think that apart from MSME redefinition, trying to ensure subordinate debt issues are looked into, trying to ensure that equity infusion and raising of working capital for MSMEs, those are the decisions that you saw yesterday. There has been the repayment date for short-term loan for agriculture and allied activities has been extended. I'm sure that you heard that as a part of the government announcement yesterday. I also would like to, Kaveri, highlight to you, our country and the Prime Minister on day 2 of the lockdown announced the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana.
Yeah.
Under it, and I can confirm to you, 20 crore women in the first installment directly in their Jandan account received 10,000 crores. In the second installment, 10,315 crores were given to 20 crore women in their Jandan account. That means the government directly transferred close to 20,000 crores. Kaveri asked me about, services for women, and especially pregnant and lactating women through Anganwadis. We discussed that. Prime Minister started a Pradhan Mantri Matra Bandhana Yojana scheme, which is a cash incentive for women so that they can take their, ensure their dietary needs are met apart from supplements, and ensure that institutional delivery happens. Now, only in the lockdown, only during the lockdown from the 25th of March to the 10th of May, we actually enrolled 4,42,000 new beneficiaries.
Okay.
Which means our systems of even enrolling new beneficiaries who are pregnant women was continuing. We actually approved 14 lakh applications. That means at the Zilla, state and the central level, 30,000 such applications were getting approved average every day. Even why I'm saying this is that people presume that lockdown means, are we only ensuring that governance was to meet the lockdown challenge, or was governance continuing on other essential issues which have never made it to a newspaper?
Correct. Smriti, if you go by the numbers and what Prime Minister has been saying from the day one, they're quite impressive. But we have done so many 25 shows on their platform so far, and some of them industries have been there. Somehow the communication, what the Prime Minister, when he says 20 lakh crore rupees, wow, that's a big statement. But none of the people we have interviewed, they feel good factor is missing from the nation. What is the communication gap between the government or Prime Minister proposes and the Babu disposes?
So the issue is that the feel good will be amongst the 20 crore women who got the 20,000 crore. No?
But that should reflect on the
feel good will be, allow me, the feel good will be amongst the 8 crore plus families that got their Ujjwala free cylinder in this lockdown. They will have the feel good. The fact that 80 crore people in our country got 3 months ka ration, one of the biggest challenges that we should have had.
So in economic terms, basically every activity has a value. When you say something is given, it is added to the value of the GDP. But the GDP in terms of total doesn't show that kind of numbers.
Sir, I am highlighting again 2-3 issues. When a country of 130 crore citizens shuts down, what is the first challenge that comes to light? क्या खाने को पर्याप्त होगा? 80 करोड़ लोगों के घर तक 3 महीने का राशन पहुंचाना, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिवली वो कितना बड़ा काम है इस देश में, वो आप भी प्रभु जी समझते हैं, आपका इतना बड़ा अनुभव रह चुका है, और उसके लिए समन्वय की जरूरत है केंद्र, प्रदेश और जिला स्तर तक, तहसील तक, गांव तक। वो हमारे देश ने जो किया वो विश्व में किसी और देश में नहीं हुआ है। एक तरफ जो मैं आपको बैंकिंग ट्रांजैक्शन महिलाओं का बता रही हूँ वो तो डिजिटली हुआ है, लेकिन राशन का पहुंचना एक फिजिकल एक्टिविटी था।
नहीं, मैं आपकी बात समझी, अब मेरे को भी बोलने दीजिए ना, मैं हाथ जोड़ लूं आपके सामने।
जी बोलिए।
क्योंकि आपने जो कहा उसको कोई मैं चैलेंज तो कोई भी नहीं कर रहा था। क्वेश्चन arises here that it should reflect in the spurt in demand at the local level in terms of what you are given the money cash to the people, बैंकों में पैसा बढ़ गया, but in terms of lifting the demand of various goods and services not reflected. Let us not go to that round because it will take a lot of time there.
Can I now
I'm coming back to your pet subject. आत्मनिर्भर भारत, जिसमें आपकी मिनिस्ट्री ने बहुत कुछ काम किया है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत
तो एक मिनिस्ट्री, अगर आप उसके संदर्भ में बोल रहे हैं डिमांड और सप्लाई, तो मैं आपको एक छोटा सा उसमें उदाहरण देती हूँ, क्योंकि शायद आप टेक्सटाइल की ओर इंगित कर रहे हैं। अब मार्च 1 को देश में एक भी पीपीई सूट नहीं बनता था, और उसका ना बनने का कारण क्या था कि इस टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे हम लोग टर्न अराउंड करें जल्दी, ये मुनाफा नहीं होगा, अथवा इसके लिए क्या कोई सब्सिडी मिलेगी, इसके लिए क्या गवर्नमेंट से कोई पैकेज मिलेगा, ऐसी सोच बहुत लोगों की रही है। मैं आपके माध्यम से लोगों को ये भी बताना चाहती हूँ कि 1 फरवरी को प्रधानमंत्री जी ने टेक्निकल टेक्सटाइल मिशन की शुरुआत की देश में 1480 करोड़ से, और 1 मार्च को ये आफत आई देश में कि इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर सील हो गए हैं। अब तक आप 70 साल इस देश में इंपोर्ट करते थे जो सामान, वो आप कैसे बनाएंगे? आप विचार कीजिए प्रभु जी, आज आप और जब मैं बात कर रहे हैं, इस दौरान अगर हमारे डॉक्टर्स तक वो पीपीई सूट्स की हम सुविधा नहीं पहुंचाते तो हमारे देश में क्या हश्र होता लोगों का। हमने लॉकडाउन की स्थिति में बिना कोई इंडस्ट्री को पैकेज दिखाकर आकर्षित करने की बजाय इंडस्ट्री से आह्वान किया कि क्या आप राष्ट्र की दरकार को पूरा करने के लिए हमारी मदद करेंगे। दरकार और मदद की दृष्टि से इंडस्ट्री को क्या चाहिए था कि क्या हम लोग टेस्टिंग लैब्स खोल सकते हैं। हमारे पास उस वक्त देश में 1 लैब थी, सिट्रा। हमने डिफेंस से बात की, ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री और डीआरडीओ ने अपनी लैबों को तब्दील कर दिया, और जहां 1 लैब थी आज वहां पे 9 लैब्स हैं। फिर हमने
मैं टोकूंगा, आपको टोकूंगा, क्योंकि ये जो बात आप बता रही हैं, प्रधानमंत्री ने बड़ा इफेक्टिवली उस दिन भाषण में अपने कहा था ये सब चीजें।
प्रभु जी आप डिमांड की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं उसका भी जवाब दे रही हूँ। हमने एक जिले में जहां जहां से सैंपल उठाना था, ट्रेन चलाई, प्लेन चलाया, पुलिस वाले बाइक्स पे सैंपल लेकर आए, हमने सैंपल्स प्रोसेस करवाए, और आज ये हाल है कि जिस देश में एक भी कंपनी नहीं थी, आज लगभग 600 कंपनियां हैं
पीपीई बनाने वाली।
जी, और जो सामान इन लोगों ने बनाया, उस सामान के खरीदार देश के अस्पताल, देश की प्रदेश सरकारें ही रही। आज लगभग ये 10,000 करोड़ की इंडस्ट्री 2 महीने में खड़ी हो गई है। और इनकी जो
कोविड रिलेटेड इंडस्ट्री, ये कोविड रिलेटेड,
लोकल
मैं बाकी इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रहा हूँ, उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन, क्योंकि डिमांड इतनी, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कई के लोगों के पास काम नहीं था, मैं उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन इसलिए रोकना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि आत्मनिर्भर भारत का जो आह्वान हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने किया है, और 2015 के लगभग, द ईयर इज राइट, ही अनाउंस मेड इन इंडिया. एज ए मिनिस्टर, रिस्पॉन्सिबल मिनिस्टर, मोस्ट पॉपुलर एंड पावरफुल मिनिस्टर, आई वांट टू नो कि मेड ऑफ इंडिया से आत्मनिर्भर भारत की यात्रा में क्या क्या चीजें हमने अचीव की है.
तो मैं अपने मंत्रालय की ओर से बता सकती हूँ, अगर आप वो चाहते हैं. 580 ऐसी लाइनें हैं अलग अलग प्रकार की इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट की, जिनको हमने स्टडी करने के बाद हिंदुस्तान में जो काबिलियत है सामान बनाने की, उस हिसाब से हमने रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट को अलर्ट किया ताकि उनकी जो इंपोर्ट की ड्यूटीज हैं उसको बढ़ा सके. विशेषतः हमने कोविड के दौरान भी देखा कि लोकल आर्टिजन के लिए बड़ा मार्केट कैसे बना सके. ऐसी 14 लाइनें एक्स्ट्रा एडिशनल हमने 63 आइटम्स की निकाली, जिसपे हमने इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी बढ़ाई. और ये वो चीजें हैं जो हिंदुस्तान में न सिर्फ किफायती बनती हैं, बल्कि क्वालिटी में भी कोई कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं होता. फॉर इंस्टेंस, फेस कवर्स की बात होती है, हमने वीवर्स को जोड़ा हमारे सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स के साथ कि वीवर अगर इस परिस्थिति में साड़ी या बाकी कोई कपड़ा नहीं बना रहा है तो प्लेन कपड़ा क्या वो वीव कर सकता है, ताकि सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप की महिलाएं फिर उसको फेस कवर, फेस मास्क में तब्दील करें, और उसका कंजम्पशन लोकली ही हो रहा है. तो आज टेक्सटाइल की दृष्टि से 2-3 चीजें ऐसी हैं जो कॉमर्स और फाइनेंस के साथ वर्तमान में मेरी चर्चा में है, इसलिए उसका उल्लेख करना उचित नहीं होगा. लेकिन जो कल भी घोषणा हुई है प्रभु जी, टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री का 80% एमएसएमई है. और कल जो घोषणा हुई है रीडेफिनेशन ऑफ एमएसएमई, जिसमें टर्नओवर को बढ़ा के 250 करोड़ किया गया है, ये टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर को सबसे ज्यादा फायदा देने वाली घोषणा हुई है. लेकिन
उसमें भी एक चर्चा हो सकती है स्मृति जी, इसलिए रहूंगा आपको मैं कि जितना आप टाइम बढ़ाते जाएंगे ऊपर, जो छोटे वाले जो नए आते हैं बाद में 2 करोड़, 5 करोड़, 10 करोड़, 20 करोड़ वाले, आपने 50 करोड़ को बढ़ा के उसमें डाल दिया, तो ये एसएमई में भी जो बड़े भाई हैं उनके लिए आप कर रहे हैं, ऐसा लोगों का इंप्रेशन है.
जब मैं एक वीवर के साथ काम करती हूँ तो उसकी 50 करोड़ क्या 1 करोड़ क्या, उसकी 50 लाख की भी लागत नहीं होती. तो इसलिए मैं आपके प्रश्न से थोड़ा
मैं प्रश्न क्लियर कर दूं, 250 तक ले जाएंगी तो फैसिलिटी 200 वाले और 250 करोड़ वाले ले जाएंगे.
प्रभु जी, दूसरी बात, पीपीई की सबने बात की है. जो टेस्टिंग स्वॉब का एक काम हुआ है टेक्सटाइल मंत्रालय के अंतर्गत, वो ज्यादा प्रचलित नहीं हुआ. स्वॉब जो चाइना से 17 रुपए का आता था, वो हम 2 रुपए से कम में बना रहे हैं हिंदुस्तान में अब, और ये 1 महीने में हो पाया है. लेकिन रॉ मटेरियल भले ही बड़े इंडस्ट्रियल हाउसेस के पास था, हमने टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर करवाई एमएसएमई के पास, और बड़ी इंडस्ट्री ने समझा कि ये दरकार अभी देश की है, तो उन्होंने रॉ मटेरियल फ्री दिया. तो ऐसे भी कई वाक्य हैं जहां पर ये जो 600 कंपनियों का मैं उल्लेख कर रही हूँ, ये सब बड़ी कंपनियां नहीं है. छोटी छोटी कंपनी से हमने आग्रह किया कि अगर आपको टेक्नोलॉजी सपोर्ट की दरकार है, अगर आपको मशीन टूल्स की दरकार है सपोर्ट की, अगर आपको बैंक के साथ हमारी मदद की दरकार है, आप बताइए. और जो लोगों ने अच्छा काम किया उसको प्रिक्योरमेंट की दृष्टि से आज वो जेम पोर्टल पे आ रहा है. तो इसीलिए आज
जी मैं इसलिए आपको बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि आपको पता भी होगा, यू आर ऑलवेज द हेड ऑफ द टाइम. इसमें अब क्या हो रहा है हिंदुस्तान के अंदर, क्योंकि हम ग्लोबलाइज्ड हैं, आपके बैंक्स जो है आजकल रेटिंग के ऊपर देते हैं लोगों को लोन. एसएमएस में प्रॉब्लम ये कि हमारी रेटिंग इतनी कम है लोगों की, बैंक वाले सस्ते रेट पर इंटरेस्ट देने के लिए, लोन देने के लिए तैयार ही नहीं है. आपको नॉलेज में होगा
जो कल सरकार की घोषणा हुई एमएसएमई की विशेष फंड ऑफ फंड्स की, उसकी अगर आप डिटेल्स जान पाए, उसमें प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टर, गवर्नमेंट अपनी श्योरिटी देके इसी चुनौती का समाधान देने का प्रयास किया गया है.
ये जो प्रॉब्लम है उसको कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे आप?
होगा प्रभु जी कि बैंक्स के साथ इंडस्ट्री से हमारा आग्रह रहा है समन्वय करें. मैं एक और उदाहरण देती हूँ. हमारे मंत्रालय में गत 1-2 दशकों से एक स्कीम चली आ रही है सब्सिडी देना, ताकि कैपिटल गुड और टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन हो सके मशीनों का. उसमें 10-10 साल से लंबित केसेस पड़े हुए थे, और उन 10 साल लंबित केसों के बारे में जब जब बैंक से चर्चा हुई है, तब तब जब कागजात सही पाए गए हैं, बैंकों ने भी मदद की है. तो मैं हमेशा लोगों से कहती हूं कि अगर आपकी स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम है, आप उसको हम तक लेकर आइए, हम स्वयं संवाद करने में आपकी मदद करेंगे। कम से कम टेक्सटाइल में तो हमने इस प्रकार से काम किया है।
स्मृति, मैं तो स्ट्रेट क्वेश्चन बता रहा हूँ आपको, रेटिंग के ऊपर इंसिस्ट क्यों करते हैं बैंक? गरीब आदमी के पास रेटिंग कहाँ से आएगी? बड़े आदमी के पास रेटिंग होती है
कि मैं टेक्सटाइल की प्रतिनिधि हूँ, बैंक की प्रतिनिधि नहीं हूँ।
तो अब आप टेक्सटाइल के लिए कहेंगे कम से कम स्मॉल
स्केल में एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन काउंसिल्स हैं, जितने भी हमारे लोकल काउंसिल्स एसोसिएशंस हैं, सबसे मैंने निजी रूप से आग्रह किया है कि आप अपनी बैंकिंग की जो चुनौती है उसको स्वयं बैंक्स के साथ बैठे, और अगर उस चुनौती का समाधान आपको नहीं मिलता तो आप हमको बताइए, हम मंत्रालय में आपकी कैसे मदद कर सकते हैं।
स्मृति, मैं एक बात बड़ी कहने जा रहा हूँ कि ये रेटिंग जो स्कैंडल है, इसको स्कैंडल मैं जान के यूज कर रहा हूँ। मूडी ने आज हमारी रेटिंग कम कर दी, उसकी वजह से इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल मार्केट के अंदर गड़बड़ होती है। वो रेटिंग गलत है क्योंकि उनका मूड डिपेंड करता है। रेटिंग हमारी कम कर दी, अमेरिका की कम नहीं करेंगे, रशिया की कम नहीं करेंगे, जापान की कम नहीं करेंगे।
मैं मोदी की नहीं, मोदी की बात कर सकती हूँ।
हाँ, मोदी की बात, मोदी की उन्होंने, मूडी ने तो मोदी की रेटिंग कम कर दी ना।
मोदी की बात में मैं टेक्सटाइल और WCD की ओर से आपको अधिकृत बयान दे सकती हूँ।
हाँ, मोदी ने तो मोदी के भारत की रेटिंग कम कर दी।
कावेरी ने कहा पहले ही आपकी इंट्रोडक्शन में कि आप और मैं स्पारिंग जाने जाते हैं। कावेरी ने जैसा इंगित किया कि मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे काफी विटी हूँ, आश्वस्त करना चाहती हूँ कि आज आपने एक्सप्रेशंस का जितने बैनर पोस्टर लगा रखे हैं अपना माल बेचने के लिए, बारे में निश्चित रूप से मैं बहुत जल्द कोई टिप्पणी करूंगी।
तो आप हमारा माल बेचिए ना कम से कम एक्सप्रेशन को, जिससे कर रहे हैं। पर आपने मेरे जवाब, आप ऐसे हमेशा होता है कि जब मैं कोई सवाल पूछता हूँ तो आप जवाब देती नहीं है। और
सर मैं संवैधानिक एक पोस्ट पे हूँ, और लास्ट आई चेक जर्नलिस्ट कभी बेचने का काम नहीं करते।
नहीं, हम तो अपनी खबर बेचने का काम करते हैं। हम अपने कपड़े। जस्ट ए मिनट पर मैंने आपसे बात इसलिए कही कि एक बड़ी बात, आत्मनिर्भर और मेड इन इंडिया, अब जो नया नारा हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दिया है, जिसको मैं कहता हूँ, जो उन्होंने लिखा भी है कि इंडिया हैज टू गो बैक टू बिकम ए भारत। मेरी इंटरप्रिटेशन ये है जो उनके कहने का है। आपको लगता है कि
आपकी इंटरप्रिटेशन है? उन्होंने जो कहा उनकी वेबसाइट पे उपलब्ध है।
नहीं, तो आत्मनिर्भर भारत
इंटरप्रिटेशन पे चर्चा नहीं करूंगी। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो स्वयं कहा उस पर मैं आपको उल्लेख करना चाहती हूँ जी। एक कि हम आत्मनिर्भर बने, मेड इन इंडिया करें, लेकिन मेकिंग इट फॉर द वर्ल्ड, ताकि एक वी आर द लार्जेस्ट कंज्यूमिंग मार्केट इन द कंट्री, बट लाइक वी हैव शोन इन लेट्स से PPE, we have the capacity to do world class products and be competitive in price. मैं competitive in price का उल्लेख इसलिए कर रही हूँ कि जैसे मैंने कहा, स्वॉब चाइना से, लोगों का ये भ्रम है कि चाइना से माल आएगा तो सस्ता होगा। चाइना में 17 रुपए का, हिंदुस्तान में 2 रुपए का। PPE के चाइना में 2200 रुपए का, हिंदुस्तान में 600 650 रुपए का। वो अपने आप में आपको बताता है कि वर्ल्ड स्टैंडर्ड्स को मीट करने के बावजूद हम प्राइस में भी कंपटीशन दे सकते हैं।
चाइना का इंपोर्ट बंद करना चाहिए, चाइना का बाइकआउट करना चाहिए, आपकी पार्टी के लोग भी कह रहे हैं।
मैं फॉरेन मिनिस्टर भी नहीं हूँ, उसके लिए आपको जयशंकर जी को संवाद के लिए बुलाना पड़ेगा।
नहीं, कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर पीयूष गोयल को सबको बुलाना पड़ेगा। इंपोर्ट तो कह देंगे।
आप जिसको बुलाना चाहें, आप आजाद है बुलाने की।
क्योंकि आपने चाइना का नाम बार बार लिया ना, इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ।
मैं आपको प्राइस कंपैरेटिव दे रही हूँ प्रभु जी। अगेन,
चाइना का माल इंडिया में क्यों ज्यादा बिकता है
प्रभु जी? Pre-COVID, post-COVID, there are many conversations that will emanate. Like I said, this is an evolving situation. ये बीमारी दस्तक लेकर नहीं आई थी, और ये बीमारी अब भी आपको नहीं बता रही कि कब जाएगी। ऐसे परिवेश में हमारी कोशिश यह है, एक कि सतत लोगों की सहायता करें, सतत गवर्नेंस प्रोसेस चलता रहे, और इस इवोल्यूशन ऑफ प्रोसेसेस में हिंदुस्तान न सिर्फ आत्मनिर्भर बने बल्कि वर्ल्ड मार्केट को भी सस्टेन कर सके अपनी प्रोडक्टिविटी के माध्यम से।
स्मृति, मैं इस संदर्भ में आपसे एक सवाल करना चाहती हूँ कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग टेक्सटाइल यूनिट्स हैं, will they have to be repurposed and reinvented for new kinds of products, for instance swabs, you know what you said, PPE,
themselves adapted to new market needs. For instance, people who are making t-shirts are now getting orders to do t-shirts plus a matching face mask.
Right.
So you have some of the largest garment exporters have become PPE manufacturers.
Right.
So even the swab units are people who are making normal garments,
Right.
but now have technically qualified and certified.
Right.
But what we have in our engagement with the industry have said that when you want to be export ready,
Yeah.
you need to make sure that all certifications, all processes, procedures are followed, because we want to ensure that the good name of India, that was specially seen during COVID diplomacy with hydroxychloroquine,
Yeah.
is not besmirched in any way. So we
Because,
have to be
yeah.
very mindful that while we have had these new achievements, we in no way damage brand India, especially in these challenging times.
Because the perception is that with China, Chinese products under big cloud, there is a possibility that Indian textiles could get a bigger market globally.
Absolutely. But we do have existing FTAs that may
Yeah.
need to be reconsidered.
Right.
We flagged this issue with Commerce, and I'm sure that Commerce themselves are mindful of it. They will take appropriate action.
Smriti and Mr. Chawla have some questions from the audience.
No, I want to ask another question because
Okay, sure.
दोबारा से
हाँ.
मैं चाहूंगा कि आप अमेठी कब जाएंगी?
अभी प्रभु जी आदेश ये है कि कहीं भी क्राउड गैदर ना हो.
हाँ.
आपने जितना मुझे अमेठी में देखा है, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि मैं किसी सड़क पर अकेली खड़ी हूँ.
करेक्ट, इसलिए पूछा ना कि वहाँ क्राउड क्या.
कानून नहीं तोड़ूंगी. जिस दिन कानून व्यवस्था मुझे इस बात की आजादी देगा, निश्चित रूप से मैं जाऊंगी. और जिन लोगों
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका.
जिन लोगों
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. पड़ोस में भी जरूर जाना. पड़ोस से होके जाती है वैसे तो आप.
मैं पड़ोस से होके जाती हूँ. पड़ोसी का विशेष ध्यान रखती हूँ. आप चिंता मत कीजिए.
जिस व्यक्ति को आपने हराया है वो भी आएंगे क्या?
मुझे नहीं पता. उनसे, उनकी बहन से पूछना पड़ेगा.
अच्छा. दो तीन सवाल है मिस्टर चावला जो हमारे ऑडियंस ने पूछे हैं. मैं जल्दी से पूछ लूं. How badly hit is India's textile industry? Will weavers and handloom exponents become the next farmers? ये सवाल है रहीम से.
If you look at the reporting on textile industry in India, Kaveri,
जी.
there was a position taken pre-COVID also that the industry is badly hit.
Yeah.
And that has been a position that has been consistently taken for the past 3 decades.
Right.
So the question that would be posed is, will things get worse? My answer to that is things will get better, because apart from PPE, apart from providing, now we have opened up exports of cloth-based non-surgical masks. There is a lot that India can do in terms of supplying better quality textiles. But one of the challenge, which has been a legacy challenge, is that our supply chain is segregated.
Right.
So what COVID has taught the industry is the use of technology to ensure that that segregation is reduced to an artificial challenge, that now we have through technology an amalgamation of capacities.
There's a question from Anant. The picture of the migrant worker who died on a train platform forced the Supreme Court to order food to be given. Is this not a sign that the Prime Minister and the government acted too late when it came to migrant workers?
Firstly, food was being given even before the Honorable Supreme Court stepped in. The Supreme Court is cognizant of it, and so are the people of our country.
Right.
But like I said, the scene that we witnessed, there can be no Indian or no human being who can deny the impact or the kind of hurt that it created. But it has to be said that 4,000 trains ensured that our citizens reach home. 54 lakh citizens were brought to their homes by the Indian Railways. And while we look at the system of Indian Railways, think of the ticket checker who's going through those trains, think of the train driver, think of the person sitting at the train window, think of the attendee who is getting you that food. They were also risking their own lives to ensure that these citizens reach home. 54 lakh citizens, 4,000 trains, and apart from it, through road transportation, an additional 40 lakh plus people were made to reach home.
There's a question from Pramod. Compared to the fiery protester of 8 years ago, you're very demure and calm as a minister now. Why the change? I think he's not seen this interview properly.
But he is not, because she's not giving me interview more often.
You need to meet Prabhu Chawla to ask, or that's how demure I am.
But thank you very much, Smriti. Thank you very much, Mr. Chawla. As always, it was a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Smriti. Thank you.
We learned a lot about what is happening at the ground level, not just in Amethi, but also all over India. And I think we should take a moment to pay a tribute to the Anganwadi workers who've done tremendously. So thank you very much.
Thank you to the Anganwadi Didi
Yes.
and the Anganwadi helper.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
See
so
you soon.
Keep
Bye.
it up, Smriti.
Thank you, sir.